With Bitcoin beginning a new week with yet again more record inflows as well as a new 2-year high. All evidence suggests that this is actually, in fact, not when Bitcoin slows down, but when it accelerates. However, what if I told you that this time things are actually going to be a little bit bigger than we could ever imagine? Over the weekend, Bitcoin was able to maintain very big price action, and as expected, hours before the open, hours before we started to see record inflows continue to pile into Bitcoin ETFs and into the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin started busting again and put in another 2-year high. However, I'm going to show you some absolutely mind-blowing data that might change how you think about what's going on with Bitcoin's price right now, and more importantly, data that shows us that historically, when what's happening right now happens, Bitcoin has not even let the actual juice loose yet at all. So if you love gainers, pumpers, and making lots of gains, and you understand those 10K squigglies were never going to come to fruition, hit that like, hit that subscribe, get signed up to FeeMix below if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. Without any further ado, let's absolutely jump into this data, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to actually save a lot of the charting, as usual, towards the end of the video. But I just want to look on the daily chart right now for Bitcoin. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It quite literally is, right? I had this drawn on my last video. It quite literally is bull flag after bull flag after bull flag, right? You go back. And the price continues to erupt. Why? Why is this happening? Because the demand for Bitcoin is far greater than the supply, and the supply is about to get cut in half. This is a recipe for not, a bust, but for the biggest bust we've ever seen. This is huge. And it's honestly quite wild. I want to really jump into some actual data that will probably blow your mind here. Historical data shows that once Bitcoin breaks past its previous all-time high, which we are so close to right now, the price has a tendency to double and double extremely fast. We look at this chart. Back here, the blue line, after breaking above its all-time high, you see how quickly it basically doubled. Same thing here back in 2017 and in 2020. Very big, massive gains. Is it going to happen again? In fact, this looks more bullish than those times. The last time Bitcoin broke above the previous cycle's all-time high, the price more than tripled in just about 100 days. It would take Bitcoin to over 200,000 by June of this year if the same thing happened again. You guys know, we've pointed this out a million times, but if you look on a long-term chart for Bitcoin, you know how quickly Bitcoin started exploding once it broke its all-time high back here towards the very end of 2020. It just shot straight up in a couple of months, and that was most of the gains just like that. Altcoins hit new all-time highs when Bitcoin was trading sideways and stuff, but Bitcoin exploded very, very quickly to the upside. So can we expect that again? Also, when the gold ETF got approved, they increased the supply to get more gold to the market. The demand for Bitcoin is going parabolic, and meanwhile, supply will be cut in half. Not increased, because it can't be. It will be cut in half in just 44 days. Humans have never seen this before. Unbelievable. We don't know what's about to happen. If anything, it's going to get pumpier than people expect. I also think this is hilarious, but also just so true. The president of El Salvador literally got elected, started just rounding up criminals, making their country safer, and buying Bitcoin. And it's probably the smartest thing he could have done. Absolutely, what a legend. Shout out to that guy. That guy's awesome. Outside of the ETF denial wick, this melt-up price action reminds me of early 2017. Bitcoin Mindset says, instead of retail and degen traders running Bitcoin to 20K, it's institutions, Wall Street degenerates, MicroStrategy, sovereign nations, corporations. This is nuts. He's saying here, once the 9 ETFs have options, the gamma squeeze will be inevitable. A great example of a gamma squeeze was GME, which is GameStop. And he's saying that the GameStop squeeze will look like nothing when it comes to the ETFs and MicroStrategy. That's actually something I haven't thought about before. That's kind of nuts. BlackRock's ETF is going to set another record volume today. Early indications are showing very bullish signs already. It already surpassed its daily average volume in the first hour and a half of trading, and expect another volume record for the full sector of Bitcoin ETFs today. Insane. Acceleration, acceleration, acceleration. You can see here as well, IBIT has almost reached its average daily volume in the first hour, which is insane. Rajat Sani here saying demand will keep rising until Bitcoin ETFs have more daily volume than the SPY. I don't know, man. You guys, nobody's bullish enough. Nobody is bullish enough. Bitcoin has decoupled from the US stock market so far. Bitcoin versus the SPX or SPY versus QQQ year to date. Let's take a look at this. That looks like some decoupling. The real test is how long this lasts, but absolutely in the short term, this is decoupling in the short term. Will it translate to long term? Bitcoin market cap does hit a new all-time high, and this happens because there's more supply of Bitcoin because 2 years has passed and 900 Bitcoin has been mined per day. But we're back basically at the same prices from 2 years ago, which means we actually have a higher market cap, which is also insanely bullish. Insanely bullish. The percentage of Bitcoin addresses in loss are now almost zero. Basically, anybody that bought Bitcoin in history is basically almost everyone is in profit now. Almost everyone, unless you literally bought the exact top, basically, or if you bought it 67,000 plus only, then you're basically in profit. If you bought Bitcoin and have just held, right? That's how close to all-time highs we are. Potentially by the time this video gets uploaded, maybe we will be. But we're also seeing more coins continue to pour out of exchanges, right? And the price is going up violently. You can see that. This is a recipe for massive gains. I cannot downplay that. Bitcoin Monger also highlighting there is people building short positions around this level here. If we zoom in, this order block around like 66, these will most likely get smashed. These people are trying to step in front of a moving freight train. In the beginning of a bull market, especially at this part of a bull market, I personally think it is possible maybe Bitcoin does get rejected right at its previous all-time high around 69, and it might take a couple days or so to break through it, but it's breaking through it. Maybe you can try to squeeze out a little short position and make a tiny profit, but why take the risk? Why? For such little reward. It's a brain-dead play. Anybody still holding on to this bearish bias is literally just ego trading, and they're just letting their emotions dictate their trading. And those people have been getting smashed. They've been losing. And they will continue to if you try to step in front of a freight train, in front of the beginning of a bull market, guys. Come on, I'm trying to reason with people. Bitcoin has hit an all-time high in almost every currency except US dollar and I believe Swiss francs. But Bitcoin is at all-time highs now versus the euro. Only one more boss to beat. This is absolutely wild, right? It's unbelievable. Now we look at Bitcoin. Altcoins, I think, are absolutely going to start rallying. I've been talking about that the last few days. I mean, altcoins are honestly looking good still, very strong. But I mean, look at this weekly chart for Bitcoin, guys. The crazy thing to me is that this is the beginning. I think absolutely over the next year, we're going to see something. Did I just squiggle that to a actually relatively likely price target? What, 132? So 130,000. Oh, I mean, that's even like a low target for this bull market, 130,000. We could have squigglies all the way up, right? I think that this is what this chart is going to look like in the next 12 months, where this was the top in 2017, 2018. This was the top in 2021. And we're going to make this right here top look like this little squiggly down here, right? So this little squiggly down there is what this little guy is going to look like. Very likely. Now, there's going to be crashes along the way. It's not going to be straight up, most likely. But, guys, we're at the beginning of a bull market. It's time to just give yourself, if you've been here for the last 2 years, honestly, congratulations for having the conviction to stay. It is not going to be a straight up ride. Maybe. Expect dumps. I'm not going to only get on here and only be mega bullish, even though I'm simply not bullish enough and it's physically impossible to be bullish enough. I do have to exercise caution, I guess, right? But ultimately, this is the most bullish thing I've ever seen. And everyone was so excited about AI months and months ago. What did that one guy from that podcast say? Everyone that's in crypto should pivot to AI. That guy literally called the exact bottom in crypto. And like ever since then, crypto has done amazingly. And the guy looks like a big dingbat. He has a history of also being absolutely wrong about crypto. I mean, there tends to be a pattern with these people, right? They tend to be always wrong and about crypto. Like they tend to always be wrong about crypto. So if they start giving out crypto, whether it's Jim Cramer or Jason, the guy from the All In podcast, all these people are like always wrong on crypto. So whenever they start saying, or they start getting like gloaty a little bit, you should understand, this is probably the best time to buy. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at a couple charts. I mean, the weekly chart for Bitcoin is absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. If we got a weekly close where we're at now, it would be the highest weekly close in the history of Bitcoin. The highest Bitcoin ever closed was right around 65,000. So if we close where we are right now at the end of this week that just started, I mean, this is groundbreaking. Are we going to see a God candle this week, right? A God candle would look something like this, something of like this size. You know, are we going to go to 70, 80K this week? Absolutely, it is possible. Nobody knows for sure, but it is more likely than not, honestly, at this point, if these inflows continue. It is that simple. It is simple supply and demand. You don't have to overthink this. This is not very complicated. The ETFs have made a situation where there is a ton of demand, like we've never seen before, just from the ETFs. The Bitcoin supply is limited. The Bitcoin that is willing to be sold is limited and getting smaller and smaller every day that goes by. And in about a month and a half, the supply that's created daily, which currently the ETFs are buying over 10 times per day, that's going to be sliced in half. So basically, if the demand for the ETFs that's coming in right now stays exactly what it is, which it's not, it's actually accelerating, but let's just say it stays where it's at, in a month and a half, it's actually going to be 20x the supply, 20x the demand for the daily supply that's created. Do you understand what that, like, this, I have a hard time explaining how bullish this is. I just want to, this is an opportunity that I do not think will happen again, at least in crypto. This is so unique. And it made it so much more possible because so many people were scared, fearful. They were feared by these influencers and the Twitter, YouTube accounts telling you that no, we were going to be in a bear market for another year or two. Everything's going to crash. Bitcoin's going back to 10K and below, all this stuff. I'm sorry if you got sidelined. It really is, because I think about that. I'm in a great position. I'm like basically all in crypto, and I have been for a long time. Financially, I'm great. And I'm really happy for the people that are now like benefiting financially from this. But a part of me does keep thinking back, and I feel bad for the people that listened to those people that were telling you that, oh, we're going to 10K and all that, and like stay on the sidelines. I genuinely feel bad. And I hope that those people figure something out. I hope that they can, I don't know. It's hard for me to say not buying at 20K and then buying instead at 66K was a good call. That's hard to say that because, like, you know, I mean, we all know. I don't know. I can't. I just hope that if you're still sidelined and you want to be in crypto, I hope you learn from your mistakes and you don't listen to those people ever again. Please, for the love of just, if you respect yourself at all, please never listen to those people ever again. Honestly, though, daily chart looks wonderful. When are we going to get a big pullback? When are we going to get a correction? Stock market is like up a little bit today. It's not even that great. DXY still trading sideways. Bitcoin is absolutely it's been decoupling for the last few weeks. And is it a coincidence that it's after the Bitcoin spot ETFs really started pumping massive volume? No, it's not a coincidence. No, it's not. I think this will continue, and I think it will continue big time. And get signed up to Femex Blow if you want to buy Bitcoin or altcoins. And without any further ado, that's it for me.